All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And welcome to the State Board of Elections meeting for September 25th, 2025. And I am declaring a quorum present and asking if there are any additions.
I have a few things of old business to just ask questions about.
Okay, what are those additions?
The-
Under old business, old business?
Where did I put it now? We had, I talked about the proposed amending the bylaws, and then Jared, you were going to write some language up. Are we waiting on that, or did you get to that?
Yeah, we'll write that up and send it around for the October meeting. Sorry. Yep.
Okay, all right, that was one of them, and then the other one was Jake and I are still working on the other one about how to put that language back in. Jake and I did not get a chance to finish that, so I just wanted to update you that we're not going to get to that.
Okay, and should that be added to old, or is that statement the additions to the agenda that you just made?
I don't know how you want to put it in there.
Okay, I think that was, I guess you were just informing us.
Stuff that we were
I
talking,
guess you were just informing us of the old business that you were.
but I'm just informing you of what I'm going to bring up at old business, okay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anything else?
I'm just going to ask about the MVRA and the DOJ letters and see where we're at.
Yeah, I think that's a part of a communication from the administrator, but okay. Definitely check the emails. But with regards to that, we are in the agenda. I appreciate that, Diane. And if no one else has any additions, we are moving to approval of the minutes. The chair is open to a motion to approve the open meetings minutes. Yes, so moved by Member Weissman. Is there a second? Properly seconded by Vice Chair Shelley. Thank you very much. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. It is unanimous. Those minutes are approved. Thank you very much. Now the chair is open for a motion to approve the closed meeting minutes from last month. Is there a motion? It has been moved by Member Butler. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been probably seconded by Member Jackson Stanley. Thank you very much. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. All right. Thank you very much. It is approved. Now moving on to the agenda, the minutes for the closed session have been approved. Now we're moving on to the state administrator's report by our state administrator.
Sorry. So the state administrator's report now. So sorry. Well, thank you, Chair. I'll just give an overview of what I've submitted to you in writing. A couple of the big things now with announcements. Basically, we are, was it September 16th was National Voter Registration Day. We are going to give out the numbers that we received to NASHED so that they can track, how many people were registered on National Voter Registration Day and the couple of days before and afterwards. But we are excited that we announced a contest for high school seniors to register at least 90% of their senior class of eligible students for the 2026 election. And that if every high school that achieves that 90% level will be recognized with an award in May of 2026. As you know, 1/3 of high school seniors are currently not registered. And the fact that also high schoolers are pushing off getting driver's licenses more and more means that the AVR system is not picking them up as well. So this contest, is going to kind of go into that, making sure that everyone gets registered approach. It allows for peers to explain the importance of voting and participating in our democracy, which is the best, point of contact there. And we currently have a portal for high schools to register on our website. On September 17th, Constitution Day, I was invited to speak at the University of Baltimore class on legislative process. It was a lively discussion with the students on becoming candidates for public office, campaign finance, and just the overall importance of voting. This Sunday, in partnership with Laurel Park, we're going to do a voter registration and outreach campaign there. We're going to have an inaugural race called the Voting Matters Stakes to establish and highlight the issue of voting and making sure that everyone understands how much voting matters in preparation for the 2026 elections. While our outreach for the Board of Education didn't produce the overwhelming response rate that I wanted on the 2025 Constitutional Day programs that I forwarded to you, I'm still going to pursue that matter for 2026. 2026, as you all know, marks the 250th anniversary of our independence. So I think it's an excellent opportunity to collaborate with their Constitution Day programs at the school level. So that's kind of our overall outreach programs there, and making sure that we keep moving forward. Candidacy and campaign finance, is still ongoing here. So far, we've had 172 candidates file for office, but I know that number has gone up because a couple more have filed today. So just as a note, we tell every candidate who files this year that they still must file their financial disclosure statement in 2026 in order to appear on the ballot. And we'll be sending out notices to those candidates, in January of 2026, reminding them of that. Alan and the public financing team did some trainings on using public financing for Common Cause. They did a big event for promoting it, Common Cause, and we were there just to give the technical programs, how it operates, and the functionality of it, and what is required for candidates there. We have also done a bunch of lunch and learn programs virtually for anybody who is interested in the public financing programs. With each county is slightly different, so we have a lot to host on that front there. Overall, the project for the MD Chris and BCDS replacement, it's still scheduled for implementation for fall of 25. We are going to do some gap analysis here. We have this, we have broken out the go live dates between for the programs, so that BCDS, which is the Title 14, and if you employ a lobbyist portion of it, since that report is due in November, that go live date is first, and then followed by MD Chris, which will be in December. We have trainings, and we are doing a lot of gap analysis and public outreach as well, and have reached out to both political parties as well as the caucus committees so that they get individual trainings for their treasurers, so that they have that, as well as doing public outreach as well. Right now in public financing, that is moving along. We have we had, I think, one candidate that has declared on the gubernatorial side, but outside of that, it's all in the counties. And then, of course, we've had some enforcement actions as well that have been listed there, and the penalties. Election management and compliance is just moving along with the annual inventory checks, and getting now polling for any staffing needs and election supply requests for the 2026 cycle. In IT systems and technology, we are basically doing some enhancements to our public-facing website, including simplifying the language, streamlining navigation, and improve visibility, and the overall concept of the web page. So I'm looking forward to it, and it should be completed by the end of 2025. And, we're just moving along with the governor's artificial intelligence sub-cabinet, and, just making sure, we facilitate responsible implementation of AI within the state agency as well. In information security, of course, we are moving forward here and updating all our processes as well for the 2026 election, and making sure that we have everything in place for it, and that we have a risk management framework with the authorization to operate to govern our security systems in place as well. So that establishes clear accountability for risk decisions, ensuring all authorizations are fully documented and approved. So everyone should understand that these systems are very, very secure. In mail-in voting, we are just, working with our vendor in the off years to find and correct any mailing addresses in advance of mailing out our ballots. So this is, just basically cleanup. And, again, everything is in preparation for the 2026 election. Personnel management here. The big news, of course, is the hiring of Baltimore City's new election director. He began on September 17th. Clifford Tatum, I've met him. He's come from Harris County and the EAC. He's extensive background in elections and election management. I think he'll have a great, warmly received in Baltimore City. And so we're looking forward to working with him in the future. And currently we're interviewing for a comms director position in the state board. So that is something that I'm excited about as we move into the 2026 election. In procurements, the poll book modernization solicitation is moving along. The official evaluation has commenced and proposals are still under review. The new voting system RFP has been published, and we received 4 offers so far for that solicitation, and that is moving on schedule. So those are the 2 huge ones there, but as everything else is there moving forward. And, we always meet our minority business, enterprise, and small business reserve tasks as well for the state. Voter registration, audits, and operations is an ongoing process, of course. We work with Eric and making sure that those reports are complete and move forward. We are making any sort of referrals to the state prosecutor once they're completed for any potential duplicate voter records from the 2024 presidential election. And we are also always fine-tuning our trainings as well with the internal audit division, working with voter registration to help the LBEs on that. And that training will be held in October next month. We have our post-election comprehensive audits for the 2024 presidential election has concluded, with each of the local boards receiving a detailed report of any findings and recommendations. They review 18 different areas of election operations, and we are, welcoming back any of the any of the comments from the local boards now as well. All right. Just to let you know, we're also developing the process of risk limiting audits for the upcoming 2026 cycle, because that's within the passage of the law. And we are working with outside groups and LBEs as well to ensure a smooth transition from our manual audit to the risk limiting audit. So we're working there. On voter registration, one of the things that I'm interested, that I was proud of and doing was, but I can't take credit for it. It was a Montana idea. I was working with the funeral homes on disseminating information on how, if a loved one passed, how they can be removed from the voter registration list. So we have reached out to the Maryland Funeral Director Association to partner with them in distributing a document to all licensed funeral directors in the state of Maryland, so that when people are at that point there, that they can, help facilitate the removal of a loved one from the voter registration list. So that is another initiative that we're trying to make sure that we're keeping our roles as up to date as possible. We have over 4.3 million registered active voters in the state of Maryland, and we have some nice little graphs of everything of transactions. And since the last report, I did not exercise any of the delegated duties as assigned. So with that, I submit my report to you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
I have one.
Vice Chair, shall I? Yes, you're right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jared, I know when I first came on the board, we discussed this. I just had some follow-up. The new voting system, the poll books, I mean, these are very huge, expensive, and very important procurements. Clarify for me, who is running the review of these purchases, and who's calling the shots in terms of the approval of which vendor, what system? In other words, who's in charge? Who's making the decisions on this?
Ultimately, the buck stops with me, as they would say, right? I got the big desk and everything for that part there. But I mean, it's a collaborative effort. So we, for that, we have a team that does the technical evaluation of all the equipment, which we bring in the subject matter experts and some of the local boards of elections as well. They give us, people to help us make the recommendations. Then we do it separately with the procurement. We keep the technical and the financial separate. So we grade them on the technical aspects of it. And then once the technical aspects are 100% done and, graded, that's when the director of procurement then opens up the financial proposals and then ranks them according to the financial proposals. We then get an overall ranking between the technical and the financial, at which point there a recommendation is made, and then a decision by me is ultimately to award the contract. So yes, so it's a collaborative effort here. It's not just done in a bubble, and everyone is involved from the start to finish, because everyone needs to be comfortable and making sure that the equipment is compatible and compliant with Maryland law. And
You make the you make the final decision.
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks, Jared. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair Shelley. Chair recognizes Member Weissman.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. And I've got a couple questions for Mr. Demarais, if that's all right.
Sure.
To start with, you mentioned 172 candidates. I guess a bit more have followed. How many do we typically get?
In a gubernatorial year,
Yeah.
probably 800 or so.
Okay. So we're maybe a quarter of the way there.
Oh yeah. I mean, and by the way, what you're going to see too is probably on the last day, 75 to 100 candidates come in on the last day. It all depends on who. As
There's
a
always some drama.
political person, if someone drops out of a race, there's a cascading effect of like everyone comes in at that point there. So right.
And our staff is ready to handle kind of the ebbs and flows of.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The
Perfect.
campaign finance is here. They're always available in person. And the one thing too is that we always recommend when candidates want to come in to go on our website and schedule an appointment, because we can facilitate it so much faster if they go online and fill out the information for us, so that when they come in, it's basically, here's some forms. They've been kind of reviewed. We've already looked at it. Like, it's just missing maybe like your social media handles or anything like that. So it can truncate your time here from being over a half hour to like 15 to 10 minutes.
There's a great PSA right there.
Exactly right. Go online, fill out the forms, help us out.
As we are transitioning to risk limited audits, how are we helping to prep the locals for kind of new processes?
So the one thing was, the first up was we did the pilot program last year. So Harford County did a pilot, and we invited other local boards there to see what it transpired. And so they already kind of knew what was going on. Additionally, the General Assembly has been working on this issue for many, many years. So I've always kept the locals abreast of the potential for this for a while. And then recently we have met with them all and asked them for feedback on how we want to move forward and kind of the drafting of the potential regs and everything.
Perfect.
Actually regarding dates and how in moving it and getting it going.
Awesome. Was super excited to hear about the funeral home outreach. Thank you for stealing good ideas from elsewhere. Can we get a copy of that flyer? I'm just curious to kind of see. Yeah, that would
I'll
that would
definitely
be
have it send around as materials and stuff like that. Yes, it's a. Let me just say this. Montana did it, and they were like, "We did this in correlation and all the words, and it's been checked." And it was great. I was like, "Oh, we should be doing this." So yeah.
just two more questions. When it comes to the deployment for the voting system delayed for the VVSG 2.0 standards, you're not concerned at all with the timeline in terms of deployment and being ready for 2028, are you?
No. So right now the RFP moves forward with it, which is you just have to have a compliance system with EAC standards. So 1.0 will be satisfied. But if you're giving us 1.0, you have to give us a pathway as an upgrade to 2.0 in the cost and in how the system that you're proposing to us would be going that way. So
Yeah.
so it keeps it moving and puts the onus on the vendor to show us how to get the most compliant system at the end of it.
That's fantastic and appreciate you guys thinking ahead. Last question. You know what I'm going to ask. Want to talk about Chris.
Yep.
So the deployment for the Title 14 side in November, I get that. Are you at all concerned? And you and I have talked about this. We're deploying Chris in December, a new update, a month before Treasurer's report, a month and a half before Treasurer's report out. Most of our treasurers for our campaign finance systems are volunteers. A lot of them don't love technology as it is.
Yes.
And this is going to be a new system set up a month and a half to go. And for a lot of them, they're not going to participate in a training around the holidays because they've got a life, unlike the people on this call.
Right.
Do you feel good? Do you feel okay? I'm a little bit nervous given our previous discussions about how this gets rolled out.
So I asked a bunch of the stakeholders. So one of the biggest things was going to the stakeholders, right? And basically they were coming to us and wanting to schedule those trainings anyway in December because they are trying to say that if you do it too early, all the training that we gave in November, these treasurers, because they have lives and everything else and holidays and everything, are going to forget that all. So they were scheduling it anyway in mid-December before the after Thanksgiving, but before the Hanukkah and the other Christmas holidays and everything else. So I think this still hits the sweet spot for it all. I've just made sure that Alan is aware that it's going to be training after training after training after training after training. And we're also going to be doing more videos and making sure that that is all being captured so that availability will be, very big at that point there and in different mediums. Additionally, as we get into January, one of the bigger things too is now we'll be sending out more notices to the committees, which is please start going into the system, entering in the data, call us immediately if you have a question about it. Don't wait until the filing deadline because normally the filing deadline, you always have problems anyway, right? That's just normal. But this will be expanded. We're also making sure that we have our vendor resources available to us, not just on the campaign finance filing deadline, but extend that period for a greater period to answer more technical questions to help us with help in a help desk type of scenario. So Yes, it's
Yes, and
right, but it's one of those things, and once we're in it, it's better because then it's like one filing after another filing, and then the treasurers are just going to get used to it. So
sure.
Yeah.
Can I just ask two things that I'd ask you to keep in mind? Number one, to make sure that Mr. Norfleet and his team, especially in that window, the week before the filing deadline, the week of the filing deadline, has additional personnel ready to go to help if there are additional questions. Because I think our help desk might get a bit more flooded than normal, and want to make sure that we can be responsive. And the second thing, and I guess this is a question for Mr. Norfleet, when you come to us in January and February with Title 13 late file fines requests, that you keep in mind and advise us, hey, these are folks who are, adapting to a new system and having a little bit of leeway and flexibility in that regard. So we're not giving folks a bunch of fines because they just weren't used to the new system yet.
Oh, yes, and I think that some people might take advantage of that anyway. So
That's the world we live in. Appreciate it, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that question and response. For those of us who are members of the life, we thank the administration for their understanding of our humanness. I know that that has been a hallmark for the State Board of Elections in Maryland for candidates, because this is a public service effort. No one is here, and I think Mr. Norfleet understands that, and we have administrated along those lines as a collective board. And due to the questions from our vice chair to make sure that everyone understands Title 13, Title 14, and why those penalties or potential penalties are waived or not, I think we do our due diligence to the humanness of our public servants. So thank you so very, very much. And with that, and I truly appreciate the question in that regard, Mr. Weissman, and that we would continue to extend grace for this volunteer effort. Now, with regards to the next question, Board Member Butler, it is your floor.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Member Weissman. Those were really good questions. Jared, you were answering Mr. Weissman about the new systems, and I thought we were moving totally to 2.0. What was your comment about 1.0 and then being able to move up to 2.0? Did we have some things that came in that were only at 1.0? I'm confused.
Well, there's only one system that is currently at 2.0 standard. And so if, in order to facilitate, to get a bigger, broader reach for it, we have to make sure that it's 1.0 standard, but we know that 2.0 is there. So they have to show a pathway to the 2.0 if they submit a 1.0 system to us.
Okay, so we did have one at 2.0, but the other ones came in at 1.0. Okay. All right. And one more quick question. We talked in the past about doing the PSA for voters to check their registration before we get into the voting system. Did we ever come up with anything for that?
Oh yeah, of course. We're always going out there now. Like, if you're registered, please check your voter registration, and that's a part of the outreach programs now. It's making sure that we do the voter outreach and register to vote. And then we kind of also go, if you're already registered, please check it anyway to make sure it's up to date.
Good, because that was
basically that's always the side part here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And great question, Member Butler. And I would imagine State Administrator Damaris, the local boards are engaged in that PSA outreach as well.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Thank you. Now, with that, if there are no further questions, we will move on to our Assistant Attorney General's report by Dan Corbin. Welcome back, Dan. Glad to see you.
Very much, Mr. Chair. I apologize for missing last meeting. I was on vacation with my family. Now I'm back reigning in Maryland, the way it should be. You'll notice this Assistant Attorney General's report is actually out of date in between the time I wrote it and we are now presenting it for you at this meeting. A couple of things has changed. I will note those as we go through it. The first case, Sullivan v. Summers, there are no changes. The report is accurate and the report is the same as it has been in prior months. We've essentially finished litigating that case. We're waiting for the court to dismiss it per both parties' request. Della Rocca v. Lee is on appeal at the Fourth Circuit. The report is accurate. That is now at the briefing stage. And so Mr. Della Rocca as appellant will be filing a brief on or before the date specified there. It's, let's see, October 8th. And then in response, OAG will be filing an appellee's brief on or before November 10th. It's not clear if the case is going to be argued in Richmond at the Fourth Circuit or not. If it is, the OAG obviously will attend the argument and represent the state on that appeal at the oral argument. The California v. Trump case, the report reflects that most recently the court held a hearing on the motion to dismiss. And just to orient everyone, this case is now sort of on two tracks. Track number one is a preliminary injunction in which we, the plaintiff states, prevailed and obtained a preliminary injunction from the court enjoining or stopping certain parts of the executive order from taking effect. That decision, the grant of that preliminary injunction, has been appealed to the First Circuit Court of Appeals and is now pending in the First Circuit. So that's track one. Not much has changed with track one. We're still in the First Circuit. We're getting briefing started. That's going to get going pretty soon. Track two is there's a preliminary injunction in place, but there is still a live controversy. There's a case to now litigate where the plaintiff states have filed a complaint saying that the executive order is unlawful. The defendants, who are the president and members of his cabinet and executive agencies, are going to defend the case and did so by filing a motion to dismiss. Many of the arguments in the motion to dismiss were similar to those made for the preliminary injunction, and the court held a hearing at which both sides presented their arguments on the motion to dismiss. I'm happy to report that a few days ago, the court issued an order denying the defendant's motion to dismiss, meaning the plaintiff's complaint, our state's complaint, is still live before the court and will continue on. It will continue as a live controversy. It is unclear whether we're going to move into a period of discovery or if we're going to go straight to summary judgment to get a final decision in the case. But I will obviously update you as that litigation keeps moving forward. So track one is the preliminary injunction, which is at the First Circuit. Track two is the rest of the case itself, which is now past the motion to dismiss stage, and we're in more of the closer to end stages of that litigation. The last case on the list, Bryson v. Moore, Bryson et al. V. Moore et al. Is the primary election lawsuit involving unaffiliated voters and the allegation that they should be participating in our primaries. Everything about the report is accurate except for the last sentence, in which I believe I wrote that the court has not scheduled a hearing. The court has scheduled a hearing, did so a few days ago, October 20th at 1:30 p.m. in the Circuit Court for Anne Arundel County. I will be appearing on behalf of, obviously, the state defendants, and counsel for the plaintiffs will be appearing, and we will argue out the motion to dismiss, the opposition to the motion to dismiss. It's not clear. I don't suspect we will get a decision on October 20th. The court may take our arguments under advisements and deliver a decision after that. And with that, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you very, very much for that report out. And I'm glad to report that you have a life with your family. And we are so glad to see you back and appreciate your sacrifice.
Thank you.
Here with us, no lies. Thank you, Member Weissman. Okay, now with that, Member Vice Chair Shalik, it is your floor.
Thank you, Chair. Dan, in terms of the case, the states against the president's, the action regarding the president's executive order and the states challenging that, what are the main issue? What are the main issues that are in contest in that litigation?
So the primary complaint, the state's primary complaint is that the executive order itself seeks to do things that the president does not have the power to do. And so therefore the executive order itself is a non-entity. It shouldn't be followed because the president doesn't have the authority to, for instance, require the EAC to place documentary proof of citizenship requirements on the common application for voter registration. So I'm happy, and we can do it now. It'd probably be more fruitful to do it one-on-one, to go through the complaint if you want to see each individual count.
No, just the main
Sure.
issue.
The
so
main,
it's
the
just-
main thrust is that the president does not have the authority to issue an executive order like he did, and therefore the executive order itself is a nullity.
So is there an overriding issue that the president doesn't have the authority to tell state board and local boards of elections how to run the election? Is that the overriding
So
principle?
close, yes, and to be clear, and obviously to give credence to the executive order doesn't tell state officials to do many things. It's actually mostly directed at federal officials, but its primary leverage is to deny funding to states for elections, which is guaranteed by provisions of federal law if states do not comply with certain requirements set by the executive order. And the ultimate argument is the president is not allowed to set requirements for elections because he is the president, and and the Constitution gives that power to the state legislatures in the individual states, or Congress if Congress passes a federal law.
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Sure.
That clarifies it. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Any other questions? Greatly appreciate it. Moving on to, thank you. Moving on to, Mr. Norfleet, Title 13 and Title 14. Yes.
Good afternoon,
We'll
board.
start.
Yep. We'll start with Title 13. I have 8 cases or 8 requests for relief, and we are recommending for them all to be granted. And you'll notice there's a big move for these committees to close because they've existed for a long period of time. The last thing holding up is a fine, a late fee. So you'll notice there's a lot of comments about grant and close.
Greatly appreciate it. Any questions? The chair's open to for a motion to accept the recommendation. So moved. Member Weissman, seconded properly by Member Butler. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. So moved. Thank you very much. Mr. Norfleet, on to Title 14.
Okay, thank you. This was a fun read for y'all, for all of you. I'm sure this was a long list. We have 7 recommendations for approving waiver, and then we have 13 denials. Because again, most of these are companies and they have general counsels, so we hold them to a high standard. So any questions for me, I'm glad to answer them.
So with that, if there's no questions, I just highlight is that equitable based on the fact that they have counsel in reference to how we treat the Title 13?
It's
Equitable decision?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Now with that being said, are there any questions? All right, hearing none. The chair is open for a motion to accept from the administration. So moving Member Butler, is there a second? Probably second by Member Weissman. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. So moved unanimously. Thank you very much. Wow. Moving on to other than the agenda, final regulations. Item number 8. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 regs being introduced for final passage, and it looks like 33.1, 3.06, 0.01, 0.03, and 0.05 could be taken together with explanation or a brief overview, and then we would do 33.14, 0.02, 0.14 separately. Any questions or concerns for that? Yes, Member Shell, Vice Chair.
Yeah, did you say we're gonna have a brief overview of what these regulations are?
Yes, before
Okay,
we
good.
just in there, because it is in for final after but good both.
Yeah.
And yes,
Or-
go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'm glad to kind of give a general
Thank you.
overview of the first three.
Thank you.
So third-party processors, this is kind of, and again, I was in consulting before this. Most campaigns collect funds through a third-party processor, and a lot of times they don't transfer the funds into their campaign account in a timely fashion. So these regs are kind of clarifying for the filing public that you can't park your funds in your third-party processor for 1 year. You need to transfer them to the depository on file with your registration. So we're giving a timeline where these transfers have to happen. These vendors often will auto transfer these, so it shouldn't be a problem for the filing community. So if anybody has any questions about that, I'm glad to explain.
Really appreciate that brief overview. Run through the regs have been provided to us for your and I'm sure you reviewed them. All those in favor of moving this for final, these are the first three. So I'll read them. Thank you, Member Weissman said, but I'm going to read them all for the record. The chair is proposing for final vote 33.13.06.01. Definition 33.13.06.03, third-party processing procedures, 33.13.06.05, third-party processor provision. All those in, is there a motion to accept the recommendation?
Motion made.
Right. Motion has been put forth by Jackson Stanley, probably seconded by Butler. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Unanimously approved and moved. Thank you very much. And now on to the final reg being offered up today. 33.14.2.1 suspension of campaign.
Sure, and I can give a brief explanation of this. So this is for public financing, our gubernatorial program. This is to kind of address, and this has happened in recent history and a few years back, where someone suspends their campaign and the complications of endorsing a candidate afterwards. And so we're providing a process to kind of announce that you're suspending your campaign and what you do afterwards. And if I can answer any questions, if anybody has any.
So this also helps to track any funds left in the campaign being transferred to us, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so very, very much. All those, the chair is open for a motion to accept the final regulation being proposed. Yes, Member Shallow, Vice Chair. So move. Is there a proper second? This will probably seconded by Member Weissman. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much. It has been moved.
Thank you very much.
Greatly appreciate it. Great, thank you, members. Now on to old business. Hearing none. Member Butler, yes.
Okay, so I think we talked about these really quickly earlier. So Jared, you're going to work on the old business. So we're going to move that to October, and that was about the language. And then Jake and I are also working on the language for the other one. And I'm sorry, Jake and I were very busy this month and we didn't get, so we'll bring that to the next time around. There was something about NVRA letters that came out. Jared, was there any update on that?
With the Department of Justice? No, we have not, since my last letter, we have not.
Jay, what was the NVRA letters were different, weren't they? Or am I missing something? There was from Montgomery County. It was a correspondence that we got.
Are you talking about the one from the law firm that represents the RNC?
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes, right. You know, we're working on a response back to them on that.
Okay. And then for the DOJ one, I had a question for you. We had responded back to them, or you had responded back that we were looking at, we're currently reviewing the mailing figures you highlighted in our response to the EAVs to determine if a reporting discrepancy occurred. That review is not complete in the timeframe you requested. Have we completed that and sent that to the DOJ? That was in the very first, the July 30th response.
So we are still reviewing it, and then we would just amend the Eves report with the EAC.
Okay,
That's the proper procedure for that. And other states constantly amend their Eves reports as well. So it is just a normal process.
okay, so then the very last thing that we're up to is we're now up to they literally sent us a basic list of 16 people about double voting, and we're checking into that. Is that correct? Or that went directly to the Attorney General?
That does not go to the Attorney General, it goes to the Office of the State Prosecutor.
Office of Prosecutor, okay. And where are we on that?
Those are forwarded over to the State Prosecutor's Office because they gave us a list of potential double voters, but it was nothing that involves other states. And so it is in the State Prosecutor's domain because there may be a legal vote. Well, there is a legal vote in there.
Okay, all right, so that's the update for all that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Member Butler. I appreciate those responses. State Administrator Marinus. Moving on in the agenda, any new business? All right, hearing none. Disclosure of campaign contributions. Member Butler.
I went to the red, white, and blue dinner in honor of Charlie Kirk.
All right, Member Weisman.
Made a donations to Citizens Helping Elect Cheryl Kagan.
All right, thank you both very much. Is there any other? Now, scheduling our next meeting for the month of October. October. Well, we know that October 30th, October 23rd or the 16th are options. 16th or the 23rd.
Time, Chair?
1:30 still. I mean, but it depends on the day. I think we can go for the 23rd.
I think 23rd makes sense.
Okay. And
Our last meeting, we suggested it would be the 23rd
excellent.
at
Thank
2
you very
o'clock.
much.
I have on my schedule.
You have 2 p.m.
That's what I have written down, 2 p.m. on the 23rd.
I can do either way.
2 p.m. We traditionally.
I
don't
can-
do p.m.
I don't have a job, so you tell me what we want, and I also have no life, so. Okay, so you tell me what, and I'll make it
I
work.
understand.
I've got one. I've got one.
Oh,
Do it 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
all
All
right.
right. Thank you.
Is that okay?
That's all right.
Okay.
Appreciate that. All right. Now with that being said, we will be having a closed meeting and I will need a motion to move to a closed meeting prior to adjournment.
Michael, hang on one second. I might be on an airplane on that day.
Okay.
What you said, October 23rd at 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That was a suggestion from our
That was
last meeting.
suggested. Yes.
okay, thank you.
I don't know where my flight is. Okay, we'll leave it there, and then if I have to change, I'll call you right back. Sorry,
Okay.
just not in my calendar correctly. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Just let us know.
Okay,
So
so now
now,
Thursday, the 23rd. Two. Thank you.
all right.
Mr. Chair, I
Yeah.
move that we go into executive session prior to the closing of this open meeting.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? It's been probably seconded by Member Weissman. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. The closed session is pursuant to general provisions 3-305B, 7, and B8. To consult with counsel to obtain legal advice and to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending potential litigation. So
We get a
move.
separate link, Chair?
Yes,
Yeah.
it has been emailed to you. Please check your emails. Now, with that being said, if you don't, please text us and let us know you don't have that email after we close. But the chair is open to so I'm gonna give you guys
2:30?
2:30. Oh, yes, sir. All right. We'll convene at 2:30. The chair is open for a motion to adjourn. So moved by Member Weissman. Is there a second? Probably seconded by Member Jackson Stanley. See you, and all those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. Unanimous. We are adjourned. See you guys here back at 2:30.